She was old and neglected, so we cut her to bare holes and built her up from the ground with our blood, sweat and tears.
So follow our journey as we plan to sail her to new destinations and make lasting memories.
Last week on Saving Lady Africa, we epoxy sealed our floors and made a frame for our hatch.
So Ricky is editing for the first time. He's making our new intro because he wants a new intro.
I taught the software and I don't even
know. He taught me the software in the beginning and now he doesn't know how to use it. So
where's the video now that I brought in?
So he's editing our new intro because he's like, I want a new intro, I want a new intro. So I said, no problem. Because he doesn't think it's a lot of work. And now he's in charge of the intro.
I thought it wasn't a lot of work.
So you film for yourself, Dawson?
Yeah, but you film yourself. Okay, so I just bought 2 of these fittings. What we're gonna do is these are gonna be. So what happens is this goes through our water tank, and it used to fit on obviously like that, and then used to have a valve on here. But I see it pointless having a valve all the way at the bottom when you can only isolate it there, and there's a valve right before the pump. And unless this fitting comes off, which is easy enough just to push the fitting on, I mean, and tighten it down. So we're eliminating the valve and gives me a little bit more space in the bulge. So we're just going to get these on. So we start off by sanding the area and using some acetone. Then we've got some Marin heavy duty sealant. Just going to run a bead. Around on each one and push it into place, and then just hand fasten the nut that'll go on the inside of the tank, and then that will tighten on the outside. So installing, there's the new pipe coming out of the water tank. So I'm just in one of the back cabins, and what I'm doing now is running, in addition to the 50mm PVC pipe that we ran, so that's, I think it's like 2-inch pipe. So in addition to that, we're running, if I can show you where this is, so that's the aft cabin, and then that's where our diesel tank is, one diesel tank, 150 liters goes in there, and then that used to be an additional one. So initially we had 450 liters of diesel, which is about 120 gallons if I'm not mistaken, and we're going to reduce it down to 300 liters of diesel. So I'm just running some, as you can see there's 50mm PVC conduit over there. So once the tank goes in, I can still run cabling in here. So the top one will be for cables, the bottom one will be for the water that we're running to the swim deck for the swim deck shower. So the idea is to have 2 solid pipes like that, because this is where all our electronic, well, there's the hydraulic steering that will come up behind that, and the water pipe will come here at the base, which I can put a drainage then down to the outside cockpit over there. I'm just using one of these hole saws. I just took out the center drill at the moment.
See, Ricky's making his marks on where we're putting everything. And he's put it pretty much everywhere. There's one down there. And then yeah. We have different thicknesses. So here's one thickness, there's another one. What we're doing is we're just running it through there, which then goes through there into the bathroom, across the bathroom, and then he's pulling it through here, all the way in here, I think.
I'm just going to show you guys what we've been busy with for the last, I think we're going on 2 days now. Simone's managed to paint the interior of all the cabinets, which taken us freaking a week and a half. Well, not taken us, taken her. It's a shitload of work. I did it one day and I stuffed it all up. so I'm leaving it to her to do it. I mean, you can see how she's painted it. It's like everywhere inside, even in the back. So I came here and I stuffed up everything she did by drilling holes everywhere now. So what I'm fitting in is, so that'll be a box to a reading light. There'll be a reading light over here, another one over there. There's a junction box, and I'll fit a switch on the back of the junction box here. Power runs down. Then there'll be ambient lighting over here. There'll be a fan mounted on the side here, so you can see. Sorry about the lighting, but I'm inside the cupboard. So there's the fan, the connection box where the fan's gonna be. So at the moment there's nothing in, everything hasn't been secured yet. But that's where the fan will be. That conduit runs in there to feed the line that way. There's another junction box, and that's where the back of the USBs will be. None of this has been connected yet. Runs down, and there's our main inlet supply. And then if you look underneath in the cabinet, that's what will run the extent of the boat. So underneath the second one, that is our two main lines feeding the whole boat, so that runs the length. I got this little label maker, so it's a pretty cool little thing. The guy that sold this was a electrician that told me about it, and I was pretty impressed with what it does. I mean, he had one of these labels that were in diesel for like 2 weeks or whatever, and the paint still didn't come off. So I figured it would be a good one. So we'll type in what we want. So Marin fiddled with this thing, should change the font size. So there's it printed. Let me just press that, snip it off. There's someone painting some of the doors. You see by there's a steering, the back of the steering bearing bracket cover. Yeah, it looks good. Everything coming all nice and white. It's a mess at the moment. There's conduit everywhere, PVC, joints, accessories, everything's all over the place. But we're confined to the boat, so that's what we're gonna do. So there's our two supply lines. That's going to take the thick cables to the winch. So, and then that one is our 12 volt supply. So I'm just going to drill a hole at the bottom here, because the stove has one of those rotating plates. So we need to get 12 volts to here. So I'm going to just drill a hole at the bottom and then pull the cables out. For the 220 volts, we're going to have a AC fridge here, and we're going to have a power dock over here. So we're going to put it in its own conduit, so we're going to chase this one through the whole route. Above or below? I think below would be better. Below the 12.
Before we could run our conduit, we needed to drill all the correct size holes with our hole saw.
We're going to have 220 and USB here, and so that if we are on the table and want to charge our laptops, we'll have the 220 available, and then obviously the USB for plug-ins. Means I need to run conduit all the way down around to that side and then back to the middle where the DV will be. So the boxes we got look like this, and they got these nice little twisties. So you just put a screwdriver twist to open and close, and they pop on nicely. I think they're IP65s. Yeah, IP65, so that's pretty good. Just helps a little bit more for dust protection and moisture protection. So it'll go in there and feed down. This is the galley box, 12 volt galley box. So we'll put over here, it's the 12 volt that supplies the galley and the saloon. so it will supply half of the galley and the saloon area. Then we've got another box that supplies the entire area, and what it does is it allows me to have straight lines between my DB box and this. Instead of having a bend here, I have this, and at a later stage if I always want to add a cable or want to put something into the back, I've got access to it. So I'll just draw the cable all the way out of here, stuff it in there, draw the 32mm sprag that goes in there. I don't glue it in, I leave it loose. It's quite tough to actually pull it out, so I just leave it in there. If I do get stuck, I can always pull it out and work the cable a bit easier. Now to give you an example, this will fit in here. That'll take the sprag in there, will fit there, push down, so it'll fit like that, and then my main feed line where the cables are coming through is over there. So all my 12 volt is, from the DB to the entire boat, and that sending backwards and forward goes through there. There's a 50mm PVC that's going to go in the middle of that, and that will be our 220, and then we'll have another 50mm PVC below that, which will be our water, which we can send water from port to starboard. Yeah, that's the idea. I'm doing the 25mm box, and it's just a smaller sprag cable or sprag that's going to go in there. So on this side here comes the switch, and then over here comes a reading light. I'll just connect it to there, drill a hole through the top, and then we're going to mount a reading light here. And all I do is just some VHB tape, some 3M VHB tape. There we go. The box is done. Just got to do the end one that side. So at the end just takes one, but without the coupling like that.
Doing this job requires you to climb into all the cupboards. Literally. Ricky's a gymnast.
That's one.
We installed our two 20-volt sockets for our freezer and washing machine. And then Ricky and Moses started running some more sprag on our starboard side.
So I just use some masking tape, and I masked my new cable, which is a tin coated 1mm cable with a proper marine coating, super thick coating. I was actually quite surprised. And then we're just gonna feed it through the lines that I left in place. So I don't know if you can see, but check how small the core is on that, how much insulation is there. Tin coated wire. And so what I'll do is I left this lead line when we were building it. Just going to take some masking tape, tape it up. She feeds through, and I'll just take her off here and then feed her to the last downlight. That's on one of the step areas like that, and before we do final paint I want to get the drill, make the hole, and that's what's going to go on there. It's one of those courtesy lights, so just marked out the area and the size, and we're going to cut it out now. So I've drilled my two pilot hole kind of things, and I'm just going to use the oscillating tool and just cut out the excess and then fit the light. So at the end, that's what it's going to look like. Now we'll just take it off, do the final painting, and then this will come back on. But there's little plugs that go on there to complete it. So starting to install the rest of the cabinets or the inspection areas. There's that one's just really dirty because I think it's been in the back of their shop for a while. But yeah, that'll be another one. That's where the gas heater is gonna go over there, and so I put all the things that I need to add in there. This is the conduit for the gas line, and it still needs to be painted inside the cabinet, and we'll add a gas meter down there that will hook it up to alarm, just in case there's some problems. So here on the outside we've got one of those hole accesses like that, inspection areas, but all the wiring goes pretty much in the back there. You can't stick your head in there and try and work. So I've got one of these nice Novarada ones, and I'm going to cut that out, obviously with the edges rounded. That's just nice to get it nice and square, and we'll cut that out, fit in the new hatch, and that should solve the problem.
So there's the new inspection hatch inserted. We've got tons more room to get all the wiring and everything. We'll paint inside as well, make it look all good again. And yeah.
Stay tuned till next week, where we take an awesome trip down to Mossel Bay on a 60-foot Perry catamaran. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe below if you haven't already, and don't forget to give us a big thumbs up because it helps us out a lot. If you would like to join our amazing Patreon family and get behind the scenes footage of what we're up to, a link is provided in the description below.